Hi, everybody. Today's episode is a special one. I'm sitting down with,
Aliza, first year political science student at Western.
and we're going to reflect on what it's like to enter the field and how much we've learned over the years from first year fears to fourth year hindsights. This is for anyone that is interested in political science. So, how are you, Elisa?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm good. Okay, so first question that we have for you today is what made you interested in studying politics?
Okay, as cliche as it sounds, I have always been just so interested and passionate about learning about politics. The main reason I wanted to go in was one, like I just said, passion. Two, I've just always loved, I don't want to say arguing with people, but standing up
Yeah.
and really speaking about what's on my mind and making sure, people know that I'm right. Um, Another main reason to go into politics was that there isn't anyone in my family who has gone into the field, especially
Okay.
not women. It's just, I don't know what it is, but the trend in this family is to either go into the medical field as a woman or just to be a stay-at-home mom. And
Mhm.
while both are great on their own, I feel like it's time we have some change. And I really hope to
Okay.
see some representation in politics of people that look like me.
How did your parents take that? Like with you just completely straying from the pack?
They loved it, honestly. My parents have been very supportive from the very beginning about what I want to do. And they hope to see me, finish my undergrad and go off to law school. My dad jokes around that I'll be the next prime minister. Um,
Yeah, that's everyone says whenever you say I'm studying
yeah,
politics.
yeah.
What surprised you about like studying politics like in your first year?
The expectation is that you're able to sort of digest a lot of material at once. We definitely had a lot of readings and a lot of personal essays that we read, a lot of chapters from books, like textbooks and whatnot. So they really want you to read and understand that material and come to lecture prepared. And while that's the case for a lot of other classes, I feel like with this class, it's just so content heavy in terms of written
Yeah.
material that it can be really tough sometimes to read all of that, remember it, and make notes. I was really taken aback by the amount of reading we did.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No, I'm such a big reader like outside of school that
Yeah,
I just kind of stop reading during school because I feel like that's just too much and then I do my reading for pleasure in the summertime.
absolutely. Oh my gosh, I haven't read a book for personal pleasure in, I don't even know, since like before I started first year.
Yeah, I'm too busy reading Karl Marx.
Yeah.
Okay, what advice would you give yourself if you could go back into your first year?
I definitely am a huge procrastinator. And I know that's a really bad habit that I carried into high school and I carried it also into university. And I would 100% go back and tell myself not to do that because that can cost you a lot in university.
Yeah.
My professor was generally flexible with deadlines. We were given extensions with most
Oh, wow.
assignments. Yeah, it was already built in, but that's not the case for everyone.
Yeah.
So if your professor isn't lenient and doesn't already give you extensions, procrastination can be very, very challenging. So I never submitted anything late, but I did leave it to the last minute.
Yeah.
And it's stressful, it diminishes the quality of your work, and it's just not a great position to put yourself in with your four other courses or however many you're taking.
Yeah, I think like for me, the biggest change from like high school to like university, especially with politics, and I feel like no one really talks about it, is like writing style. I think
Absolutely.
like I was so used to writing for my English classes where I'm like fluff, 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 la la la. And then like when I started writing in university, they're like, I don't care. Just like cut and dry, like get to the point. And I think it was really hard for me to like do that. And I think like and a piece of advice that I have for anyone in their first year, anyone struggling to write in politics, is like talk to your TAs, talk to your professors, because as like cliche as it sounds, they're actually there to help you and they want you to succeed. And I think, especially because writing is super subjective, after you get your first paper, sit down with your TA immediately, have a 30-minute conversation, and I promise you, your mark will increase the next paper.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make TAs your best friends. If you don't make them your friends, they will rip your papers to shreds.
I like
And
that one.
yeah. I didn't even realize that rhymed. Oh my gosh.
She's like a little rapper in the studio, guys.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
No, but even professors, I think like even making connections, especially because most people go into politics wanting to go to law school afterwards.
Hmm.
And I think that's something that I realized a little too late in my academic career of like go to office hours, not even if you have any questions. Go to office hours to be like, hey, I was thinking about this and I want to talk about it. Go to office hours for literally everything under the sun because you need to build those personal connections, which I feel are harder to make in your first and second year.
Hmm.
When you get to like your third and fourth year, it's like your professor, like you don't have TAs anymore. Your professors mark your stuff, at least like in my experience. So it's like then it's a lot easier, but still try to maintain these connections throughout your university experience.
I absolutely agree. Be the kid that talks to the professor in the breaks at
Yeah.
like lectures and after lectures. It's okay. People will always stare. It doesn't matter. You have a great opportunity to go talk to your prof before the lecture starts or after. They stay there for a couple minutes. They want you to come talk to them. It's a
Yeah.
great opportunity, and I utilized it so many times.
Be that nerd, because
Be
nerds
the
can rock the
nerd.
world.
Yes, be the annoying kid at the professor's table. It is gonna
Wait,
pay
what has
off.
been, yes, what has been your favorite class or topic in politics?
This was such a small unit that we had. I wouldn't even say it was a unit. We barely touched on it, but
Hmm.
I have loved this topic since high school when I first learned about it. And it was more so about the distinctions between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. Um,
Okay.
this was more of like the law side than the politics side, but I just thought it was so fascinating how laws are interpreted, even in the world of politics, based off of the way they're written and the
Yeah.
way they're interpreted.
Yeah.
So there were so many laws, from older times that were interpreted differently simply because of the way they were written.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
like
100%.
whoever had them written, you could completely misinterpret that. And then, as a policymaker, you're interpreting them your own way. And then that gets twisted and changed. And I just thought that was so, so cool. And I wish
Yeah.
we'd learned so much more about it, about how politicians and policymakers interpret previous laws.
You will. There's definitely so many classes I'll
Yeah,
recommend to you.
perfect,
um,
awesome.
no, but it's very true, and I think like that's even a lesson that you could take into your writing for politics and law is like being precise in your language is so important, just
Hmm.
because you really can take everything 100 different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
I think my favorite like was like international politics. I was
Oh, yeah,
super into that. Like, I don't know, I had this
yeah.
amazing professor, as embarrassing as it sounds, like he would talk about like some sad things going on. I would cry in my lecture
Oh
and
my
he would be like,
God.
"Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's so sad." And I feel like, yeah, that's why I need to make a difference in this world.
Absolutely, I so agree.
No more crying in lecture, guys.
It's okay to feel emotions every now and then.
How do you stay motivated dealing with all the stress that is university?
Oh my gosh. I definitely find it to be a really big motivating factor that I have immigrant parents. I'm a second generation immigrant. Um, and I know they came here and they sacrificed so, so much. So for me to get to this point, be privileged enough to go to university and have such an amazing education, it would just be such a waste to throw that away. Um,
Yeah.
and I know myself that I can't make a life out of staying at home and not doing anything with my career. And again, stay-at-home moms, kudos to them. They do so much. But I know
Backbone of
for me,
society.
truly, truly, my mom was a stay-at-home mom for years.
Mhm.
Um, I just know for me personally, I can't stay at home. I feel like I need to be out there and doing something.
Mhm.
So, my parents being immigrants, that's a really big motivation factor, and just being scared that I won't accomplish everything that I've always dreamt of. So that makes me want to keep pushing further and learn more.
Yeah. And do you ever like feel like that anxiety, like that stress, like even though you have those motivating like factors?
Oh, all the time. My motivation can also 100% cause anxiety because um, although my parents are very supportive, I'm worried that I won't, meet their expectations. That,
Mhm.
again, they've never put pressure on me, but it's just deep down, I worry that I won't be able to fulfill everything that they
Yeah.
wanted me to do. So, yeah, absolutely. It can be very anxious sometimes.
Yeah. I think like having a life outside of academia helps a lot. I think like joining clubs and everything, like have fun as well. Like obviously not at the expense of your grades, but I think that's definitely a way that you can deal with the stress of it
Hmm.
is like make it an enjoyable experience. And I think that it will become reflective in your grades because even sitting in tutorials, I can tell who wants to be there and who doesn't, and I
Yeah,
think that shows a lot.
yeah, for
So,
sure.
what is one tip you would give someone starting to study politics in this September?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. But if I had to say one that really stands out, and we did touch on it earlier, if you're a reader, forget about your pleasure reading. If you're not a reader, this is for everyone who hates reading and, can't sit through readings. Please, please, please start reading little bit by bit. Prepare yourself to be able to sit for at least an hour or so every night and read something. Not doing your readings is literally the very first thing you can do to start sabotaging yourself academically. And
Yeah.
people don't really take them seriously. They're like, oh, it's just readings. Like, it's fine. I'll do them at the end. You do not want to be the kid reading 200 pages before your exam. It is not
Yeah.
something you want at all. Um, and
And
I just
I
feel like
think
it's
even like,
overlooked.
yeah, no, 100%. And I think like reading effectively as well. Like
Yeah.
something that I talked to my sister about too, who's also in her first year, is you don't have to sit there and read every single word. That is
Hmm.
so time consuming because there again are so many readings. You need to learn how to skim read. You need to learn how to digest big things in a fast way.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that can only be done through practice. So
Yeah.
read some crazy things with big words. They will help.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, I think like my piece of advice, get involved, set some goals for yourself. I think that helped me a lot
Hmm.
dealing with university. I think it's like a big scary transition from high school to university. So definitely create goals, like set yourself up for success, have a support system, make friends in your classes. That's a big one too. Like there's a shitload of advice I have for everybody.
Honestly, and as what you just said about making friends, I found it to be very difficult to make friends in university. And my friends that I still have now too, I met
Yeah.
in my classes or like my tutorials. You do have to make an effort to continue to talk to them because at one point in uni, it just feels like you're meeting someone, you tell them your major, your name, and you never speak again. But
Yeah.
that phase doesn't last forever. And especially in this field, we need to be able to talk to people and make so many connections.
Yeah.
And it's going to be rough in the beginning, but it's okay. It works. You will have friends. I did make
I
friends.
think I think the beginning is the easiest part to make friends because everyone's nervous and everyone
Really?
wants friends. Yeah, you just turn over, you go, hi.
Oh my gosh, all
Let's
those
be
people I
friends.
met, I swear I never saw them again.
I'm still friends. I think like especially making friends within your major is important because
Yeah,
I promise you guys will have like at least 10 classes together. Like get
yeah.
your whole experience. Like I see the same people in all of my classes and it's just great to get on like like a first name basis because like Eliza said for connections in the future of course, but also like connections in the present and now like if you're sick and you need notes from that class like you guys can help each other. You guys can start a little study sesh for your midterms and finals. Like it is very useful and
Hmm.
beneficial to make friends in your classes.
Absolutely. I found that some of my most effective study sessions were with my friends from classes. And
Hmm.
again, that works if you're able to study in a group. If you're an individual studier, You do what works for you. But we would all sit there with our headphones and we'd do our work together. We'd answer questions, we'd quiz each other. So, it kept us sane and it kept us on track as well.
Yes. Okay, do you have anything else to add?
Um, I just want to say good luck to anyone who's coming into first
Yeah.
year. It is so, so, so okay to be scared. I'm still scared sometimes, and that's completely normal, but you will do fine. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes, always ask for help. No question is a stupid question.
Never,
As stupid as that sounds.
never, yeah.
But that's it for today. Thank you so much to Eliza for joining us, and thank you all for listening and being interested in political science. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.